you. You talking about somebody give you some freedom. They ain't got it. It is something that you just are. Like you just be it. You know, you just do it. Do freedom. Like you have fun. And you know, you don't talk about, oh, it's gonna be some heavy traffic. You ain't even in it yet. It don't even exist. Like you're just creating it. You're creating something that doesn't even exist. So what I create is what I want. Nobody controls it. I control it. So that's what I want us to do for Black kids. If we do that, we already run the world. Like, come on, hip hop, jazz. What do you want? Like tennis, golf, or what? God. But you know, we running stuff mad suppressed. We suppressed and we still running stuff. So like if we really like train our kids, we run the country suppressed. So like if we not suppressed and we really are free, Jesus Christ, like Obama ain't gonna be a surprise. It'll be the run of the day. Oh, you want a president too? Cool. You too? What you might okay. You know, okay. And we just run it and they make their monkey pictures and we go, peace, I'm still your president, whatever. You know, I just think that's just how we got to roll, you know, but beat people don't do that.
Right.
That's my point. Beat people don't do that, they can't do it. Because they still trying to figure out at whatever your lovely age is, why that happened to me. Well, it talks about like, when you're a child, you're not saying they beating me because they love me. You sitting there wondering, why are they doing this to me? And what is that about? Like you're trying to figure out why you're getting beat.
That's right.
By somebody you love. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and as parents, we sitting there trying to figure out with their teens why they don't respect us and why they don't trust us, because you beat them. How many people here trust the people that beat them in life? Like you had a fight with them and you trust them after that. You don't. So my thing is, as a parent, her picture of me is not going to be my hand up ready to strike her. It's just not. That ain't how I'm going to roll.
I've never gotten beatings as a child, but I've definitely gotten yelled at. And looking back at my childhood, you said something earlier about scars. Although I've never gotten beaten, I've had emotional scars. I can say that sometimes the emotional abuse hurts even more than the physical abuse, because those are things that they stay with you throughout the rest of your life. If you don't look at where they have started to how you can come to a solution so that you can go about healing yourself. You spoke about love and violence. I see how, I don't know where this came from or how it came about, but there's a strong association with love and violence. And it's a distortion, it's a perversion. I think that a re-education of sorts is definitely necessary. But it takes a lot of work. You have to first do it with self before you can do it with others. It's a lifelong journey. You can only heal by accepting your pain, and that's one step towards your healing.
Wow. The relation between parents and kids, and you're taking certain roles to the extremes. You don't really get to see who you're dealing with. You just get to see who you think you're dealing with based on your perception, and that limits the potential that you can create in yourself and with who you're dealing with. And so in my own way, I always try to remind myself. I have my nephew. I'm that person who's like, don't do this, don't do that. So sometimes I try to step outside of that and talk to him, question him, ask him about what he thinks, and if I'm upset at him, I try to engage him in such a way that he feels comfortable to talk to me. And that makes a world of a difference.
One thing that I've gotten from writing this book is, I'm so glad you wrote this book. Finally, there's a voice to say blah. And so there's a lot of people who want to say something against this type of behavior, but they're a little afraid because it does take courage. Because there are people that got all laughing and joking and hitting and whipping and all that. It's just mad pain. But they come at you hard. They come hard with it. They come hard and they test you and they challenge you. But if you're speaking from in here, they can't. You can't win talking to me about beating no kids. You ain't gonna win. Never. Never.
My healing came from moving from a religious standpoint to a more spiritual standpoint.
Okay.
And I mean, when you go into that spiritual place, and you realize, like you said, the child is not just a little person, that's a soul there.
That's right.
Yes.
And everything you're doing to that soul, it's no different than if I did it to any one of you sitting here.
Sure.
So, going back to the whole conversation about religion, when my mother became religious, the beatings got worse.
Mm-hmm.
The restrictions got worse. The stifling of my spirit got worse.
Mm-hmm.
When she became spiritual, she and I were able to have a dialogue. And she could look back and say, you know, you kids really didn't deserve that. And she apologized to all of us.
Nice.
And she has really grown tremendously spiritually. She's a totally different person today.
Nice.
But I think we get caught up in dogma and we don't get the gist of what Christ came to teach us. And I consider myself Christian, and that is love.
Right.
And there is no love in abuse.
That's right.
I just don't accept that. I
Got
really
that.
don't.
One thing I learned that really impacted my life a lot is I learned some techniques along the way from this book that I got probably 20 years ago. First I saw the title and I said, okay, I'm an engineer, self-analysis, I need to analyze myself. I'm good at interior, looking in, introverted. That's one thing I was good at. And it was amazing how my level of communication just opened up. And it really prompted me to just like get on the phone, call up my dad. I got closer to my dad when I turned 20, 21, 22 because of the techniques that I was applying to myself. And all it did was allow me to communicate. For some reason, I stopped introverting and it allowed me to open up and just start communicating. And it was one of the most fulfilling things I ever could have done. Just to have that ability to open up and communicate to him and be able to listen to him, to listen to my dad for the first time in my life.
Lately, the message has been, that's right, it's all right. I think it's healing, it's therapeutic. For me, it was. And when people read my words, they tell me that it is. So I says, write your own story. And I love this. I love the process of writing. And whenever you get people communicating because of something you wrote, you're doing a good thing.
And I feel like even though I did get beat, I don't really see the good that came out of it. I felt, and that's why I really was glad that I started wrote this book, because even though it was hard for me to look at it, eventually I got through it. I got through it, and I wrote what I wrote, and I feel like there is no good from beating another person. There just isn't.
So, I mean, the book is going to make you laugh. It is going to definitely make one think. It makes people think. I wrote it because it makes you think. And I wrote it because we do need help. Black people need help. Hello? We need help. Like Tanya said, when you beat a child, you're not pushing them forward. You're pulling them back. And I need to push our children forward. And we have to push our children forward. And maybe we will see a different world. And maybe the world will, grow to what we want. Create what you want. That's my thing. And this is just the beginning of that. So I want to thank you for being here today. Give yourselves a hand and come on out.
You won't know unless you tell us how you're hurting, how you're jubilant, how you're celebrating. We want to celebrate with you. So read and write. And this is from Devorah, and God bless everyone.
Very good discussion. Had a great time. Topic that needs to be discussed until a solution is found. Thank you.
Glad I came. I'm just excited and just to get bigger and bigger in forums and in the garden and somewhere, all of our people are getting together, ready to heal.
This is the perfect setting to engage that type of dialogue. Happy to be here.
Thank you.
You see right here in the room where it's actually starting to cause people to change how they deal with their kids. And that's very, very positive. So I actually want to say thanks to Asada. Positive effects, across this country. I'm glad to be a part of it.